Hello, welcome back, and welcome if you're new. Today is part 2 of our French Country English Cottage home tour. I'm going to start in the back of the house, which is the mudroom, office and the eating kitchen. I picked up a desk to replace the one that I was using in the dining room. It was quite damaged in the centerpiece. It had a wing on each side, so I sanded it down, gave it a quick stain in a cherry finish and then sealed that. And that was then going to go into the office. This is the view coming from the eating kitchen, and this is when the house was empty. We were doing some work on this property before we moved in. Unfortunately, we had to move in quicker because the move-in date was moved up, so things weren't finished. There's still things that aren't finished. It's just been a bit chaotic since we've moved in. We have to still put the floors down and baseboards, and so it's a process, we'll put it that way, but you can kind of see what it looked like as a blank canvas. The back room, the mudroom office, is the kind of the dumping ground. We set it up as best we could because I needed to get my office up and running. So I kind of put things in there that I knew I needed. It was still winter time, so we needed coats. I'd had up some heavier curtains, but I changed them out as soon as the weather started to get a bit lighter, a bit warmer I should say, and it was lighter out. So these curtains are more summer curtains that I used to have up in the last house in the living room. I'd been out thrifting, trying to pick up baskets, as many baskets as I could for storage, because I've got not only my office supplies, but I've also got my crafting supplies. So I'm trying to get it as neat and organised as possible. But like I said, it is a little bit of a dumping ground. We've got to try and find a place for everything so that won't happen in an ideal world. So what I did was I printed out some labels and then either decoupaged or tagged them to boxes and baskets that I already had. This was a basket that I picked up in a thrift haul, and it was a great nice size, and I thought it would be perfect for some of my crafting supplies. The only thing was the hinges, the catch, it was all a little bit worn, so I grabbed an old leather belt and used that as the handle, the straps. I just replaced everything using the hardware that I was working with, and it worked out beautifully. It's given it a whole new life. It's sturdy again, and most importantly, it's given me some extra storage. Another amazing find, this was on Kijiji, was a $40 secretary desk. This was perfect. It had a little bit of damage. I had to do a little bit of repairing on it, but it's just worked out perfect, and it goes right in the hallway. And I had a key that just happened. I'd been using it as a decor piece. It was hanging on a cabinet, and it just happened to fit the key of the fold down desk, which is amazing when you think about it. So I was really pleased with that. I've just set it up, like I said, in the hallway, and it is perfect for mail that comes in, newspapers, bills, everything that's kind of household I've put in here, along with extra reams of paper and office supplies. So it's not 100% sorted yet, but that is what it's going to be, and it is perfect. And that is the key that I found. My butterfly pictures I've put up again. They were in one of the bathrooms at the last house, and of course my hat stand. I just adore this hat stand with my umbrellas. I didn't want to leave them in the boxes. I just wanted to get some things out as much as possible, and so the house was familiar. Like I said, I've had a little bit of a hard time moving into a rental property because I know it's not my own. So, but it's getting there now. So this is the office in progress. I would find myself tidying it, setting things up, and then, within a couple of days, it was full of boxes again, or we had to move something, or get something out. So it's been a bit of a process, like I said, trying to find the time and the energy just to stay on top of it. So I managed to get 3 or 4 types of baskets that were very similar. I did actually get 3 the same. I need 4 to fill the whole shelf, so I'm constantly on the lookout for matching baskets or just to put like with like, and it is coming along. It is getting more organised. It's just a slow process. So this is the latest incarnation of the office. As you can see, the floor still needs to be done. So at some point we're going to have to take everything out, put the floor down and then put everything back. But I needed to get as organised as possible. I've kept the printer underneath the desk. So this is the new desk. And as you can see, it's not perfect, but it is so much better. It gives me loads and loads of room. I can have the wings up or down. Depending on if I have to get into my cupboards or not. And these 3 drawers are great to have as well. It's so handy to have everything right where you need it. I keep all my wires, extensions, I've got pens, I've got electronics in the next one. And of course, like I said, the wings go up and down the leaves. So I found a place for almost everything. It is, I say, it's getting better. I'd still like to find some kind of organisation that looks better when you look into the cabinet, so everything is in the same type of box or type of container. But like I said, it will get there. It's got a nice feel to it. It's very, very airy. It's got 3 windows in a little room. That's a lot. So it's got a nice feeling, and it does remind me of an old boot room, you know, that you used to see years ago. So it's getting better. It's not perfect yet, but I think it's going to be an ongoing process, as with everything else in the house. And probably just as I get it right, we'll find a new property and we'll move. I'm convinced that will happen. So my flip number 2 is an old rug. This came from a thrift store, $14.99. So the first thing I did was, it was in really good condition, there was no stains, and I cut all the trim off. That immediately brought it into the 21st century because it was a very 80s style rug. And then once I flipped it over, because of the way these rugs are made, it looks like a hand-stitched Aubusson rug. And it is beautiful. You can't do this with all rugs because they don't all have this finish underneath, but it's really turned it from, you know, a 1980s rug to an antique looking rug that has been handmade, and I'm really, really pleased with it. The only thing was, it did show my table, the white table that I'd done for the move was quite damaged, so I had to do a little bit of work to that. So that was the white table that I'd done for when we were staging the house. So I sanded that down and decided I was going to give it more of a French provincial look to it. So once I'd sanded it all down, I gave it a coat of the espresso. Unfortunately, it wasn't dark enough, so I then topped it off with another colour. I think it was more of a richer red tone. Once that was on, then I gave that 3 coats of the Tuscan, and that gave me the look that I was looking for. It was 1 coat of Verathane on top, and it's taken it from my French country to French provincial, and it really does go better with the style of this house because I have a lot more wood. So I'm really pleased now with the way the little kitchenette has turned out. It's I've added some shelves along with the toile curtains and the other pieces that I'd already done in previous flips, so it really is coming along really nicely. Love the windowsill with all the flowers. I've got my plants in there at the moment, and then down into the office. So it's taken a while, but things are now starting to look a little bit more like home.